He was spectacular last night. He threw for 240 yards on third downs in the game last night. The most third down passing yards Nick Saban team has ever allowed at Alabama. The Tide had allowed 240 passing yards total to a quarterback in 22% of games under Saban. So everything comes down in the National Football League to third downs, and everything came down, and the National Football League, and in college as well, of course, and everything last night came down to third downs. Let's take a closer look.
Greeny, I spent time with Peyton Manning, and one of the things he once says was, you've got to penalize defenses for playing a certain way. Trevor Lawerence did it on this third down, and we're going to see it all night. So put our eyes on these two safeties, okay? This was not a blown coverage by Alabama. We call this three-buzz week, where these safeties, and I want you to watch them, this safety's got to drop down into like what we call a buzz area, and this safety needs to get back to the middle of the field. Well, Alabama or Clemson offensively is just going to run T. Higgins on a seam right here, okay? And watch where these safeties drop down to. Again, this safety, Deontay Thompson's only going to drop down and hang high because it's 3rd and 14. And Maiden really needs to get back into the middle of the field and protect the field. They don't get where they're supposed to be, and Trevor Lawerence penalizes them for it. Right there, you're burned as a defense, RC. You know that safety's dropped down. He's fine. It's three-buzz week. Maiden needs to do a better job of playing high. And then Smith up top, Greeny. Smith up top needs to overlap. We saw that with the Clemson pick. He's the guy that needs to fall in over the top to take away Higgins on the seam. What I love, this ball gets snapped, Greeny, on the 21-yard line.
Yeah.
For a true freshman to see this coverage, to see the rotation, penalize the defense, and Higgins is at the 36, 14 or 15 yards downfield, the ball's out of the true freshman's hands.
Yep.
For him to see that rotation and hurt them, defense, I'm not going to allow you to play me that way and burn them downfield. That is not a blown coverage. It is not a poorly executed coverage necessarily by Alabama, a little bit out of space. That is greatness by a young quarterback taking advantage of a defense, playing it just a little bit wrong.
What do you see, RC?
Well, I got an opportunity to meet Trevor Lawerence last summer when I was at the opening for Nike, and he has exceptional talent, but it was his decision to know where to go with the ball very quickly. And I disagree with Dan. I think it was a blown coverage, and not necessarily in the sense that they didn't know what they were doing, but Savion Smith has to get over the top. If you're the safety, you have to rotate deep middle and be able to make that play. You can't throw a ball inside the numbers, down the seam in a cover three, and your safety not get over.
But that's not a blown coverage. Guys aren't doing the wrong thing. They just didn't do it as well as they should.
Yeah.
But we need to credit some people. Like, we need to credit Clemson. We need to credit Trevor Lawerence as a true freshman to see that and throw the appropriate throw. You hear me say that all the time. I don't care if you can make all the throws. Make the appropriate one. The trajectory that he put on that ball, that touch was perfect. I get you, RC, but that's about greatness or big-time play at the quarterback spot rather than
and I understand that, but for me, if you're Alabama, if you're coached the way that this team is coached, I've been on a Nick Saban team, you can't make that mistake. You can't allow that easy throw. And when you're Trevor Lawerence, a guy who's probably going to be #1 overall pick in 2 years, he keeps talking about 4 years.
Yeah.
He won't be there that long. He's going to make that play.
Yeah, look, so it's the answer, it's a combination of both. It's Alabama wasn't perfect last night or close to it, and Trevor Lawerence was, or at least close to it.